The challenge. The crystalline spires of Galactic Hunting Federation headquarters gleamed against the amber sky of Tharsis Prime, their translucent surfaces reflecting the light of 3 setting suns. Captain Maya Rice stood at the base of the enormous entrance, her well-worn hunting rifle slung across her back. She felt the weight of countless alien eyes upon her and her team. "They're watching us," Lieutenant Eli Chen whispered, his hand instinctively checking the blade at his hip. "Let them watch," Maya replied, her voice steady. "We didn't come all this way to be intimidated." The 5 humans stood in formation, dwarfed by the massive architecture designed for species much larger than themselves. Maya led her team. Chen, their tracking specialist. Dr. Seto, xenobiologist. Rodriguez, weapons expert. And Jackson, survival specialist. Together, they represented humanity's first delegation to the Galactic Hunting Federation, an elite organization that governed hunting rights across 17 star systems. The massive doors, crafted from the bones of legendary prey, swung open with an echoing groan. "The human delegation may enter," announced a voice that seemed to vibrate through their bones. They walked into the chamber, their footfalls silent on the polished floor. The space was arranged in towering tiers, each level hosting representatives of the galaxy's most accomplished predatory species. The air hung thick with pheromones and warning scents, a biological display of dominance that would make most prey species flee in terror. But humans weren't prey. Not anymore. "You dare petition for entry into the Federation?" The question came from High Hunter Vexthar, a Vulgarian whose massive form rippled with natural armor plates and venomous spines. His translator barely contained the mockery in his voice, with projectile weapons and no natural defenses. The chamber filled with the alien equivalent of laughter, clicks, hisses, and rumbling sounds that echoed from the walls. Maya maintained her composure. "We do," she replied, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber. She unslung her rifle, a motion that caused several Federation members to shift into defensive postures. "Would you care to test our primitive weapons, High Hunter Vexthar?" The massive alien rose to his full height, nearly 15 feet of evolved killing perfection. "I accept your challenge, small prey." Elder Zextal, the ancient arachnoid who served as mediator, scuttled forward on his many legs. "The challenge is accepted. The terms: if the human strikes Vexthar with their weapon at a vital point, their petition will be given serious consideration. If they fail," his mandibles clicked in amusement. "Agreed," Maya said, checking her rifle. Vexthar's natural armor rippled as he dropped into a hunting crouch. "Your primitive projectile cannot penetrate my defenses. I'll give you one shot before I show you how a true predator hunts." The chamber fell silent as Maya raised her rifle. Instead of firing immediately, she lowered it again and began to circle the Vulgarian, studying his movements. "What are you waiting for, human? Take your shot so we can end this farce," Vexthar taunted. Maya continued circling, her eyes never leaving the massive alien. "Chen," she called without looking away, "what do you see?" Lieutenant Chen observed the Vulgarian with practiced eyes. His armor plates shift in a specific pattern when he prepares to strike. There's a 2-second vulnerability at the junction near his central thorax. Vexthar laughed, a sound like grinding stones. "Impossible. No species can predict the gap in my armor." "We don't need to predict it," Maya replied calmly. "We just need to observe." She continued circling, and the massive alien grew impatient. He lunged forward, his venomous spines extending for a killing blow. In that precise moment, Maya fired. The shot struck exactly where his armor plates separated during his attack movement, penetrating deep enough to draw fluorescent blood. The chamber fell silent. "Impossible," Vexthar rumbled, reaching for the wound with trembling claws. "You couldn't have known." "We studied your movements from the moment we entered," Dr. Seto explained, stepping forward. "Your armor shifts in a predictable pattern when you prepare to strike." Captain Rice timed her shot to match your attack posture. Rodriguez moved beside her, His scarred hands relaxed at his sides. Humans don't have natural armor or venom. We became apex predators by studying our prey, learning their patterns, and exploiting their weaknesses. It's not about being the strongest or fastest. It's about being the smartest hunter. The chamber erupted in overlapping conversations, some outrage, others intrigued. Elder Zextal raised several limbs for silence, his compound eyes reflecting the chamber's light in prismatic patterns. "The humans have proven their right to petition," he announced, mandibles clicking rapidly. "But earning a place in the Great Hunt is not merely a matter of marksmanship. You will face the deadliest prey from 1,000 worlds. Most participants don't survive the qualifying trials. What makes you think your species is ready?" Maya looked up at the tiers of predatory species, each evolved over millions of years to be perfect killing machines. She smiled, and there was something in that smile that made even the most fearsome hunters shift uncomfortably. "Because while you all evolved to be perfect predators," she said, "we evolved to become whatever we needed to be. We've studied every hunting technique on Earth, from wolves to eagles, from spiders to whales. We've learned from every predator that came before us, and we've improved upon their methods. We don't just adapt to our prey. We adapt to the very concept of hunting itself." Jackson stepped forward, his cybernetic eye scanning the chamber. "Your species hunt by instinct, by genetic memory. We hunt by choice, by learning, by endless innovation. That's what makes us dangerous." The chamber fell silent again, but this time it was a silence heavy with consideration rather than mockery. Elder Zextal's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of deep thought among his species. "Very well," he finally announced. "The human petition is accepted. You will join the Great Hunt on Terminus. But remember, young ones, pride goes before the fall, and the galaxy's graveyards are filled with species who thought they could change the natural order." As Maya's team turned to leave, she paused at the doorway and looked back over her shoulder. "With all due respect, Elder Zextal, changing the natural order is precisely what humans do best." Once outside the chamber, her team gathered close. "Phase 1 complete," Maya whispered. "We have our foot in the door." Chen nodded. "They underestimate us." "That's good." "Don't get overconfident," Dr. Sato warned. "The Great Hunt on Terminus has claimed hunters from species far more physically capable than ours." Maya checked her rifle, a determined glint in her eyes. "We didn't come here to be the strongest hunters. We came to be the smartest. Time to show the galaxy what humanity can do." As they walked away, Elder Zextal activated his private communication channel. "Place a significant wager on the human team's success," he whispered to his broker. "I suspect the next phase of galactic evolution is about to begin." The Great Hunt. The crimson skies of Terminus cast an eerie glow over the hunting grounds. Maya crouched at the edge of a cliff, her team spread in practiced formation behind her. Below, the twisted landscape of the Death World stretched out like an open wound, a maze of razor-sharp rock formations and toxic vegetation. "Movement," Chen whispered, his eyes fixed on a disturbed patch of crystalline grass 300 meters below. "The Shadow Beast passed through here no more than 20 minutes ago." Around them, other hunting teams were already charging into the valley. The Vulgarians crashed through the terrain with brute force, while the crystalline Exi floated on gravitational fields, their natural weapons humming with deadly energy. Each species employed their evolutionary advantages without subtlety or strategy. "They're going to spook it," Rodriguez muttered, checking his weapon systems. Maya nodded, a slight smile playing at her lips. "Let them." "Chen, where's it heading?" Chen's fingers traced patterns in the air, reconstructing the Shadow Beast's path from broken vegetation and displaced soil. "There's a geological formation 2 clicks east. Looks like a natural funnel. Given the wind direction and its feeding patterns, it'll hole up there." Jackson finished checking his specialized climbing gear. "The other teams are driving it straight to the best defensive position in the region." Dr. Seto activated her tactical display. multiple heat signatures converging on the target. They're going to trigger its defense mechanisms. As if on cue, a roar shook the valley. The sound was followed by screams, both of rage and pain, as the first teams encountered the shadow beast. The massive creature emerged from the rock formations, its light-absorbing hide making it appear like a moving hole in reality. Only its eyes gleamed, 6 red orbs that seemed to burn with ancient malice. "Time to show them how Earth's apex predators work," Maya said, signaling her team into action. Standard hunt pattern Delta. They moved like water down the cliff face, using minimal gear and maximum skill. Where other teams announced their presence with battle cries and energy weapons, the humans flowed through the shadows. Years of hunting Earth's most dangerous game had taught them the value of silence. The shadow beast had already disabled 3 alien hunting teams when Maya's group reached their initial position. The creature's natural defenses had proved impervious to energy weapons and chemical attacks, leaving the other hunters frustrated and increasingly desperate. "Look at its hide," Dr. Seto observed through her binoculars. "The light-absorbing properties suggest vulnerability to certain frequencies. We might be able to." A deafening explosion cut her off as the Vulgarian team deployed a thermal detonator, attempting to flush out the shadow beast. The creature responded with terrifying speed, its tentacular appendages lashing out to impale 2 Vulgarians before vanishing back into the shadows. "Idiots," Rodriguez muttered. "They're treating this like a siege instead of a hunt." Maya nodded. "Chen, start laying down the pattern. Jackson, Sato, set up the crossfire points. Rodriguez, you're with me." As the team dispersed, Maya noticed something wrong with her rifle's power cell, subtle damage that would have gone unnoticed until it failed catastrophically in the field. "Sabotage," she whispered to Rodriguez, who quickly checked his own equipment. "Same here. Someone tampered with our gear." The quick check confirmed that all their advanced equipment had been compromised. Tactical displays flickering, communication systems unreliable, weapon systems failing. "They're forcing us to withdraw," Jackson said, anger evident in his voice. Maya's expression hardened, then relaxed into determination. "No, they're forcing us to show them what humans can really do." She unsheathed her backup weapon, a simple composite bow. "We go old school." Rodriguez grinned, pulling out a carbon fiber spear. Like our ancestors, they adapted with remarkable speed, using primitive methods that required no power cells or advanced technology. Chen began laying down a complex pattern of scent markers, a technique learned from Earth's wolf packs, while Maya and Rodriguez set up natural blinds using local vegetation. From their hidden observation post, Elder Zextal and a council of Federation observers watched with growing interest. "Their equipment has been sabotaged," one observer noted. "They should withdraw." Zextal's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. "And yet they adapt. Watch." Below, the human team had transformed their approach entirely. Using primitive tools and ancient hunting techniques, they began to manipulate the environment itself. Chen's scent markers confused the shadow beast's chemical sensors, while carefully placed sonic resonators, simple devices that required no power, created disruptive sound patterns that only the creature could hear. "They're not trying to overpower it," Zextal observed. "They're communicating with it." The other observers chittered in confusion. "Communicating? With prey?" "Not as prey," Zextal corrected. "As predator to predator." The shadow beast, confused by the mixed signals, began moving along a path subtly influenced by the humans' manipulations. 3 more hunting teams encountered the creature, their advanced weapons proving useless against its adaptive hide. Each attack only drove it further along the humans' planned route. As the creature entered the natural funnel that Chen had identified earlier, Maya and her team moved into their final positions. Instead of attacking directly, they began a coordinated series of movements designed to herd the shadow beast toward a specific location. "What are they doing?" one of the observers demanded. They'd had multiple clear shots. Zextal's compound eyes gleamed. "They're not trying to kill it yet. They're exhausting it. The oldest hunting technique in the galaxy, the persistence hunt. For hours, the humans kept the shadow beast moving, never allowing it to rest or feed. They used minimal energy themselves, taking turns to maintain the pressure while the others recovered. When the creature attempted to double back or change direction, they were already there, anticipating its movements with uncanny accuracy. The alien hunters watched in growing amazement as the humans demonstrated hunting techniques that had nothing to do with superior weaponry or evolutionary advantages, techniques based purely on intelligence, teamwork, and ancient knowledge. As the planet's sun began to set, the shadow beast finally showed signs of exhaustion. Its movements became erratic, its legendary speed diminished. That's when Maya gave the signal. The team converged from 5 directions, each armed with simple weapons aimed at specific vulnerabilities they had identified during the long chase. Maya's arrows struck first, finding the junction between the creature's armored plates. Rodriguez's spear followed, pinning one of its tentacular limbs. The others struck in perfect sequence, a coordinated attack that gave the shadow beast no chance to deploy its formidable defenses. When it was over, the humans stood over their prey, their faces painted with its luminescent blood in patterns that echoed back to Earth's earliest hunters. The kill had been clean, quick, and respectful, minimizing suffering while ensuring success. The other hunting teams gathered around, their previous mockery replaced with a wary respect. "Notice," Elder Zextal said to his fellow observers, "how they hunt not with natural weapons or instinct, but with knowledge and coordination. They turned the very environment against their prey." "A lucky kill," one observer dismissed. "No," Zextal responded, watching as the humans efficiently processed their kill, preserving useful parts with practiced skill. "This was instruction. They're teaching us something about the true nature of hunting, and I suspect this is only the first lesson." In the valley below, Maya cleaned her bow while her team prepared to move out. The great hunt was complete, but she knew this was just the beginning. They had shown the Federation a glimpse of humanity's hunting prowess. Now it was time to prove that humans weren't just participating in galactic society. They were going to revolutionize it. "Next time," Maya said to her team as they collected their trophies, "they won't underestimate us." Chen grinned, looking up at the observation platforms where the alien judges watched. "No, Captain. Next time, they'll be taking notes." As the red sun set over Terminus, a new legend was born. The legend of humanity, the most adaptable, and therefore most dangerous hunters the galaxy had ever seen. Elder Zextal, watching the humans depart, clicked his mandibles in a pattern that signified profound respect. "The age of natural predators is ending," he whispered to himself. "The age of learned hunters has begun." And throughout the galaxy, the news would spread. Beware the humans. They don't just hunt. They understand the hunt itself, and that makes them the deadliest predators of all.